Thanks for being with us. So it was an issue front and center at the Conservative leaders' debate last night, a woman's right to choose. It's something everybody seems to be talking about again, thanks to the leaked draft of the U.S. Supreme Court's plan to overturn Roe versus Wade. And now the debate has been rekindled in Canada. I can't be more clear where I stand on this. I believe in a woman's right to choose. I believe in access to safe abortions. But obviously, there are many who hold different views. And I always say there are things to be learned from people we disagree with. And so let's welcome George BUSCEMI, president of the Quebec Life Coalition. Thank you for your time today, George.
Glad to be here.
So you are pro-life. Could you tell us about how you came to that conclusion?
Well, I came to that conclusion by watching a video of aborted children. So it was on an evening of pro-life apologetics, so arguments against abortion, and this was at McGill University. And we were watching these different arguments, and I was listening in an intellectual way. But then when we finally got to the part where they showed abortion, what it actually was, I found out what it was that women were choosing when they exercised their so-called right to choose. They were choosing to kill a baby human being. And when you see the little bodies, you understand the little hands, the feet, the face, the nose, all torn up. You understand that it's not some kind of abstract choice. It's very concrete. It's the willful destruction of a human baby. That's what people choose when they choose abortion.
No.
And so that's what made me against abortion. That's what I saw, and that's what kind of made it for me, made my mind up for me.
Okay. I mean, when you describe that to me, George, and I just want to be clear again, I don't agree with your stance, but it sounds to me like you saw a video that was traumatizing to you.
No, it was clarifying because these were different stages of development. There were abortions at 12 weeks. There were abortions at 20 weeks. But whether 12 or 20 or even 7 or 8, this is clearly a human being that we're talking about. It's a baby, very tiny human being. And a choice of abortion is the choice to kill that human being in the womb as it's developing. So what we say in the pro-life movement is that as soon as we're dealing with a human being, then that human being has human rights, and the primordial, fundamental human right is the right to live. Because without that right, you can't get anywhere.
So, George, you referred to the woman's right as her so-called right to choose. So then it's sounding to me like there's different rights at play for the fetus than there are for the woman.
Right. So the right to choose is a right only when you choose something that's legitimate. So the right to choose your husband, the right to choose your job, the right to choose the flavor of ice cream that you're going to take. But the right to choose is not unlimited. I can't choose to do something dangerous with my car. I get arrested. And I would argue that a woman can't choose to kill her baby. That's a violation of the baby's rights. So the right to choose is great in abstract, but when you look at exactly what's chosen, not everything that one can choose is okay. And so that's why I disagree with the right to choose abortion, because when you choose abortion, you're choosing to kill an unborn baby.
George, is there any circumstances or situation where it would be all right for a woman to choose to have an abortion?
Well, again, once you translate abortion with killing an unborn baby, there is no situation where you could legitimately kill that baby to solve a problem. So the problem that's often evoked, and it is a big problem, it's rape. So when a woman is raped and she conceives, that is a crime, and that's why it's punished. It's because it causes a lot of trouble. It violates a woman's dignity and her bodily autonomy. And so, therefore, that's why we punish rape. But now the problem is that when a woman is pregnant, it's not a question of whether she wants the baby or not. The baby is already there. That's why we cannot accept abortion, because abortion would be the killing of the child for the crime of the father.
Yeah, except the baby is part of the woman's body at that part, and so she should be responsible and in control of her own body and her own decisions. That's my stance on it, George. We have to agree to disagree. I'd like to know, yesterday there was a press conference, right, held in front of the Supreme Court of Canada where demands were made of the Federal Liberal Party. Can you tell us a bit about that? What happened?
Okay, so there was this press conference to announce the March for Life that took place here in Ottawa. And it was also in the wake of that Supreme Court decision that got leaked. And so what the message was to the Liberal Party is that it has to be careful about what it wishes for, because what Trudeau has said he would do in the wake of that Supreme Court decision is to show his pro-abortion credentials, is he wanted to legislate in favor of abortion, because in Canada right now, there is no legislation with respect to abortion. It's basically just a void, a vacuum. And so he wanted to kind of fill that void with something that's unambiguously pro-abortion. And I think Canadians would be surprised at how extreme Justin Trudeau is, and that's the message we gave. He wants abortion not only in certain cases, not only in cases of rape. He wants abortion from conception to birth, basically,
yeah, because
all 9 months
George,
without
because
exception.
he also believes in a woman's right to determine what happens to her body. But, George, I just want to clarify, there's no such thing as pro-abortion. No one is pro-abortion. There's pro-choice and there's pro-life. And I think I'd like just your perspective, and please, I'm going to try and be, I'm not trying to be shock value, but I'm just trying, if I told you tomorrow that I thought that you should have to get a vasectomy, or if I was trying to make decisions about your body, or that say you had a tumor growing or something, and you didn't want to get it off, and I'm like, you have to get that tumor cut off tomorrow. How would you feel about somebody else making decisions for you and your body? Where was all these pro-choice proponents, this my body, my choice, when we were being forced to vaccinate, when we were that's a different question, George.
Mask?
I'm asking
if I decided it's no longer my body, my choice.
No, but that's a different question. I'm asking you specifically about if I decided that you have to get a vasectomy tomorrow, or no, you can't get a vasectomy tomorrow. What if I tell you you can't get a vasectomy when you want one?
Well, if this man was a serial rapist, for example, and he was using his sexual organs to hurt people, then in that case, yes, the law could come in and say that's enough.
I'm asking you about you personally, if somebody else was not allowing you to make a choice over your own body. Like you could never get a haircut again, say, George.
Well, I already, my choices are already limited, and I'm all right with these limitations. I can't drive at 300 kilometers an hour on the highway.
That's your actions. That's not your body. Okay, but the last thing I want to ask you, George, is there a Quebec political party or figure that represents your beliefs that you feel, falls in line with your own stance?
Well, the short answer is no party fully embraces the pro-life position. However, the Conservative Party of Quebec, I admire them for their open-mindedness, and they do accept pro-life candidates in their ranks, not like other parties that want to just cancel any dissident voices. So the Conservative Party of Quebec, I would say, at the provincial level, they understand that points of view from different horizons are good. They harmonize, they can complement each other, and they can enrich each other. And at the federal level, I would say the Conservative Party of Canada has a good 30, 40 pro-life MPs, and running right now as the leadership candidate for the Conservative Party of Canada, Dr. Leslyn Lewis. She's a pro-life candidate out of the 5 or 6, I believe, candidates.
Yep, you're right. Mm-hmm. George, I want to thank you for your time today. I want to just say, listen, I'm glad that we were able to have a polite, respectful conversation, even though we couldn't possibly disagree more. Thank you very much for your time.
Okay, well, thank you.